Big up to everyone. Welcome back to another video on Chic TV. This time we are doing a transfer window summary. So obviously the transfer window has just closed yesterday. Yesterday was obviously the deadline day where our club failed yet again. And we're going to basically talk about it in this video. We're going to discuss all the outgoings. We're going to discuss all the incomings, where even though it's only been one incoming, to be honest, but that's about it. And yeah, that's really it. We're just going to discuss the failure of a transfer window that we've had. Ineos have failed yet again. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Not going to be too long of a video. We're probably going to do like an hour or so, but I needed to get some things off my chest. And yeah, I just need to kind of vent about this whole situation because we haven't really talked about it. Yesterday we did mud, didn't really talk about it, of course, because we had to get all the other things and stuff again. So we'll discuss our transfer window in detail, all of those things, the money spent, all of that right now in this video today. So big up to everyone. Make sure, guys, you do run up the likes and subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the road to 700 subscribers. I believe we are 23 subscribers away. So share this across all socials. Tell everyone to subscribe to Chic TV because we have a lot of content coming up. And yeah, let's just pretty much get into it. So Manchester United's January transfer window. We have only made one signing. One signing. We have spent around 30 million euros. That's what Sky Sports is saying right here? And I'm gonna pull this up real quick. But we've spent 30 million only in this transfer window. We now leave the squad with just four attackers, and that is basically Ahmad, Rasmus Hoyland, Xerxes, and Garnacho. Two, I guess you could say, I'm not really considering him as a signing that's going to affect our starting 11 because I think he doesn't get integrated into the starting 11 right away. Even though, in spite of Lisandro Martinez's injury, there could be rumors here and there to suggest that maybe he does get a call up to the senior squad where he might have to play. But I seriously doubt that it does happen. That's why I'm just considering it as one signing that we see in our starting 11, which is Dorgu. But going back to the conversation, like I said, um, terrible, terrible transfer window. I'm going to give it like a 1 or 2 out of 10. I gave our summer transfer window 5 out of 10, even though we made a lot more signings then, but I still felt like we did not address the positions we need to address. Let me ask you guys a little question in the chat, right? If one of our attackers gets injured, that's Hoyland or Ahmad or Xerxes or even Garnacho, who do we play? Because if you really think about it, if you really, really do think about it, Ahmad, yes, he plays sometimes as a 10, but he could be going into our wingback, right? Xerxes gets his occasional game here and there where he starts, but comes on more on the bench. Could start there in the striker position or in the 10 position. Garnacho just plays as a left 10 most of the time, doesn't really get tried out in the wingback role mostly. And then Hoyland is just Hoyland. Hoyland is a striker, nothing else. He don't play anywhere else. He don't play in that 10. He don't play as a wingback. He don't play anywhere else. He just plays as that striker. So let's just hypothetically say Xerxes or Hoyland get injured. Who do we play? Who do we play? Genuinely. Because wingback, Ahmad will probably play there. So in our front three, if he decides to put Mainu back in the 10, or if he decides to play Mainu as a false 9, like how he did against like how he did against Crystal Palace, who the fuck do we play? Genuinely, who the fuck do we play? Let's say Ahmad just gets hurt. Let's just say Ahmad gets hurt. Who are we gonna play then? If Ahmad gets hurt. If Ahmad gets hurt, who's scoring the goals for us? Who's doing anything? Because let's think about it. When we played against Southampton, which we can all argue is the worst team in the Premier League, they sit bottom of the Premier League table currently. They just get slapped up left and right by every single team. However, it took us a moment of brilliance from Amad Diallo to win us that game. So that should tell you everything about our attack in general. So our attack just got thinner and thinner. Rashford, whether you like it or not, even though he wasn't being part of this team and he wasn't being selected in the squad, he's an attacker in our squad that we got rid of. And mind you, getting rid of him was the right decision. 100%. 100%. However, that makes our attack, our thin squad even more thinner. Antony, who was being utilized as a wingback, also someone who got replaced. And he's someone who's gone on loan to Betis, of course. So now that's two attacking positions or two attacking profiles or players that we have to replace, and we just haven't replaced. If you want to say like to like, I hear this because this is an argument that I've been saying myself. Antony, I feel like, on the other hand, has low-key been replaced simply just based off the fact that Dorgu's Dorgu's a wingback. Antony was being utilized as a wingback. So that's, you could say, is a like-for-like position. Even though Antony wasn't playing as much as, let's say, someone else like Tyrell Malacia. Malacia is someone who has also left, who's gone to PSV on loan. I guess you could say then that that's a like-for-like replacement. Attackers, though, forget even let's even just forget the replacement aspect of it. We needed reinforcements, even bar the replacements. Had Rashford stayed, had Antony stayed, had any of these players stayed, Malacia stayed, we still needed players. We needed attacking players. We needed left 10. We need either side of the 10s, a striker, 100%. And we just haven't done that. And if you're really deep at people, I've been critical of Ineos since day one. Since the moment that they stepped in, the moment that they've made that decision to keep Ten Hag for however long they decided to make that decision, they've been here so far, and all they've been doing is just rectifying their own mistakes. All this time, up until January, from the summer, they've just been rectifying their own mistakes. Their own mistakes. And we could break it down because here, I have a perfect graphic for you guys, which will talk about our transfer window as compared to other teams and their transfer windows as well. But here, let me show you guys real quick. It's absolute embarrassment of a football club. So yeah, look at this. Look at this real quick, people. Let me just change the background 1 second. There we go. So transfer spending in winter 2025. Premier League clubs, tab on column heads to sort. Manchester City have spent the most, obviously, in the January transfer window, which is a no-brainer because we have seen it ourselves where they spent money on Kusanov, they spent money on Marmoush, they just signed a midfielder yesterday, Nico Gonzalez, if I'm not wrong with his name, but they've spent a total of 176 million just in January. Wolves has spent 42 million, Brighton has spent 40 million, then it's us with 30 million, Ipswich has spent 24 million. Villa have spent 26 million, even though 26 million was probably Malin and the rest all were loan deals. They have sold an amount of 94, which is basically the Duran deal. So they've had a net spend of negative 68 million, which is a good window for them, considering the players that they bought in and also the players that they've sold. I said this to Age yesterday in someone's chat. I don't remember which show it was. But I said Villa had the best business this in the Premier League. From all the Premier League clubs, just January transfer window, Villa did 100% the best business. And I don't care how much City spent. Just because you spend so much doesn't mean that you did the best business. I think in terms of the deals that they made, in terms of playback, exactly, that's probably what it was. In terms of the deals that they made, in terms of the players that they brought in for the amount that they brought in, good January transfer window, can't complain at all. Disasi, they didn't spend money on like that. They only, I guess, whatever it was, maybe it was a loan fee that they paid for. But Disasi, all the things that you have to say about him, good addition for Villa, considering that he's just a loan deal. Marco Asensio, good deal for Villa, considering again that he's just a loan deal. Marcus Rashford, the guy that I've been talking about for the longest time, I genuinely think this is a good deal. He's going to be playing Champions League football. He's going to be playing away from the pressure from Manchester United. You're not obviously going to have all these tabloids making all these, reports about you, rumors about you, constantly just talking about you. He's going to have a lot of pressure off of his hands, and I feel like that's an environment for him to thrive in. And I genuinely see him doing that. So clubs like Villa, who are competing for top 4, clubs like Ipswich, clubs like Brighton and Wolves, what are Wolves competing for? To stay up, right? They've spent 42 million this January transfer window, and we've only spent 30, and we are 13th. 13th. Do we look like a club that wants to turn things around? Do we look like a club that actually wants to fix things? Because this situation does not really tell me that you're looking to back Ruben Amorim. If let's say that we didn't spend this January transfer window, all because we're looking to spend massive in the summer, and we're gonna go on this whole like splurging spree, all of that. All that just tells me again is that you guys are gonna go into the summer and you're just gonna throw cash at anybody, and you're just gonna throw cash at whatever deal that you can get in. The whole smart business and all of those things. Where's that smart business? Is January transfer window? All we needed to do was sign two players. Two players. Even with the one Dorgu, I'm not happy with, because one Dorgu does not fix the situation that we have. Whatever we saw against Palace, one player like Dorgu does not fix that, or does not improve things to a certain extent. Yes, maybe defensively we could get a little bit better. Yes, maybe offensively we can create a little bit more chances than what we already do. But this does not highlight the issue that we currently have, and it's the fact that our attack is dreadful. Dreadful attack. Rasmus Højlund, I will tell you this, is honestly one of the worst strikers in the Premier League. And he's been here for 2 seasons now. He spent almost a year and a half at the club, and he's not improved a single bit. And our board is looking at our board is looking at the game against Crystal Palace, and they're like, yes, we just don't need any striker at all. Another thing that pisses me off is that they attempted for one. They actually attempted to sign one, another loan deal, which was Matthias Tell. And Matthias Tell has now rejected us to go to Tottenham Hotspur, who are currently 15th in the league. They agreed to a 60 million buy option. Shout out to Stephanie G every single time. Big up to you every single time. They've agreed to a 60 million buy option. He's genuinely rejected our club to go to Dusty Spurs because we couldn't pay a 5 million loan fee deal to get him over. And if they wanted to include a buy option, fine. It's not an obligation to buy. It's a buy option. Where if he does have a good season, we can look into buy Matthias Tell, and the negotiations will go swift because we've already had that agreement with Bayern Munich. That's all that means. It doesn't mean that it's not like the Sancho deal where it's an obligation to buy. So I don't rate Tell entirely. I don't think Tell is the answer to our problems. I don't think Tell should be our out and out striker going into the summer or going into next season, or just for this Ruben Amorim project itself. But Tell is another option. Tell is another attacking option that we need. My problem with this whole issue is this. Hear me out, people. Why is Tell the only one that you have identified? Why is Tell the only loan deal in terms of the striking department that you have identified for our club? You basically said it's Tell or nothing. That's really it. You said Tell is our last attempt for us to try to get an attacker in this January transfer window, and you said it's Tell or nothing. Why was Tell our only option? Why? Our previous ownership, which is still currently our ownership, you could say, they went out there in January transfer windows in the past seasons, and they've gotten the likes of someone like Sabitzer. They've gotten the likes of someone like Weghorst. If, mind you, believe it or not, Weghorst was bought as a striker so that Rashford didn't have to play as a number 9 that season, and he could be moved to the left. And look how that helped out him. And whatever thoughts I have about Marcus Rashford, considering the problems that we had in that January transfer window or in that season, going into that January transfer window, Rashford wasn't on that run of form before the World Cup. That run of form happened after the World Cup. The World Cup was in November, if I'm not wrong. November to December is when the World Cup was. So we looked at our attacking options in that season. We went into January. Weghorst had whatever moments he had in the World Cup, obviously the game against Argentina where he equalized in the last minute, scored 2 goals to bring them back. Whether you want to say our board looked at that and looked at our performances, whether Ten Hag had a say in that because they're both Dutch, whatever. But we looked at our department, our striking department. We identified that we needed a striker to somehow help Rashford and our wingers to help contribute to that attack, and that's what we did. We went to Burnley, got Weghorst on a loan deal. Yes, he didn't contribute in terms of GNA so much, but he helped out our attack, and that's exactly what we needed to do this January transfer window too. We were never going to get a striker who's going to bag us like 13 or 20 goals up until the rest of the season. The market is just not there for that. Players are just not there for that on that market. But I refuse to believe that there's a loan signing that we couldn't have explored, or a couple of loan signings that we couldn't have explored in the striking department. Or forget the striking department too. Wingers, winger deals as well. You're telling me there's nothing that we could have done to try to get a loan deal in? Nothing at all. If I ask Steve, or if I ask Jez, shout out to Steve and Jez. If I ask Steve, or if I ask Jez, hey, can you tell me that if there are 3 strikers available that we could possibly get on a loan deal? Forget 3, they tell me 5. They would tell me 5 strikers. So we're supposed to have the best of the best at our club. We're supposed to have all these people like Ineos, the sporting direct, not the sporting director because we sacked him, but we have our technical director, we have our CEO, we have all those type of things. And you're telling me that you can't simply identify a striker loan deal in this January transfer window where all we have to do is possibly pay 3 to 5 million as a loan fee, and we could negotiate like wages and stuff like that. You're telling me we couldn't get any of those deals in, and Tell was our only option. Tell, a guy who's 18 years old, hasn't really proven himself. You could only say the only thing you could really say about him is that he's had experience in the big leagues and he's potential and there's raw talent and he has physicality and this and that. But there's no evidence to suggest that he's a world beater, of course. But I'm not even asking for a world beater. I'm just asking for someone who's a loan option who could not significantly, but who can improve this attack to a certain extent because this attack needs improvement. You can tell Ruben Amorim himself was trying things out. He's sick and fed up of Rasmus Højlund and Xerxes to a certain extent. He put Mainu in the 9. He played him as a false 9 against Crystal Palace, and different conversations of whether it worked out or not. But I back that decision. I think that's him trying different things out with this thin squad. Because let's say he starts Rasmus Højlund, none of us would have been happy with that anyways. So it's not like we'd have done anything different in that game by starting Mainu or by starting Højlund. It's not like we were doing anything different genuinely. So why is it that our board has yet again shown incompetence when it comes to trying to figure out situations? That is something I genuinely don't get. Genuinely don't get. Big up to Leicester City fan. Shout out to you every single time. He says at least you don't support my team. Hey, we will see each other this Friday, bro. We will see each other this Friday. He says I have worse nightmares. I hear you, bro, but hey, at least you're not big Manchester United Football Club who are sitting 13th in January, and we're just not even signing players, bro. But I understand where you come from as well in terms of a Leicester City fan. It could be its peak, but yeah, bro, it's really just that. It's the fact that our board is looking at Manchester United Football Club and they're like, yeah, we just don't need to really do anything. Let's just continue to cut costs. Let's just continue to take away vouchers from people who've been working at the club. And let's also just focus on making a new stadium. Let's just do that. What are we doing? What are we doing? Do we care? Does anybody genuinely care about what's happening at Manchester United Football Club? We have to now go in the rest of the season with a thinner squad. Ahmad gets hurt. Oh, dude, if Ahmad gets hurt, genuinely, what are we doing? How many goals do we score? Genuinely, bro, I can't. This is a thing, Leicester City fan. I can't even confidently say that we win 4-1. I genuinely cannot confidently say that because I felt this way about Palace. And then look what happened against Palace. They slapped us up. They genuinely did. They slapped us up at Old Trafford. Look at Brighton. They slapped us up. Look at Bournemouth. They slapped us up. Look at Newcastle. They slapped us up. Look at Forest. They slapped us up. And yeah, we're just sitting there and focusing on one loan deal, man. That's all we're doing. Oh no, you're fine. I'm just saying, bro. I'm literally just saying that you're good. Don't even worry. You don't even have to calm down or anything like that. I'm just saying that I can't even confidently trust my team, bro. Genuinely. So yeah, let's look at here real quick. Let's look at our business that we've done in the summer so far, right? Look at this, people. Yo, what is this ad? That's crazy. Anyways, we'll just put it up like that. But yeah, so our signings since our takeover. Laniura has been the most expensive one, 58.9 million euros. Manuel Ugarte has been 50.7 million. De Ligt has been 42.7 million. Xerxes has been 36.5 million. Patrick Dorgu is 30 million. Mazraoui, being the cheapest out of all of them, is 17.1 million. Our average of all those signings of what we've made it, we could say, is like 24 to 26 years old in terms of the age of the players that we have looked at. But let's also look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 positions out of 6 signings, and in 1 signing only, we have addressed our attacking options. And we've spent 50, 50, 108, 142, 170, 190, we'll say. So we've spent damn near 200 million on just midfielders and defenders. Are we fucking Mikel Arteta? Is that who we are? Are we Arsenal Football Club? Is this what we're supposed to move like? Where they've spent like 800 million and they spent the majority of them on defenders. What are we doing? You know what the craziest part is that looking at the amount of goals that we have scored this season, let's actually bring all this up because people forget about all these things. You know, people don't really like to look at all these stats because these are the harsh truths of where we are as a football club. So let's look at the standings. Let's look at how many goals we've scored, right? Let's look at this. Here I have the Premier League table for you guys. Let's look at this. Here I have the Premier League table for you guys. We are currently sitting in 13th in the Premier League. 8 wins, 5 draws, 11 losses already in fucking January, right? We scored 28 goals this season and we've conceded 34, right? Wolves have scored more goals than us. Everton are only 5 goals away from us. Spurs have. West Ham have scored 1 goal more than us with Lopetegui and all those things that we were talking about. Lopetegui, Graham Potter, all that shit. Leicester City, same guy, Leicester City fan, shout out to him in the chat too. Bro, if you're reading this, Leicester City have scored 3 less goals than us. What are we doing? Crystal Palace have scored the same amount of goals than us. But we look at our striking department and it is not a problem. It's not an issue at all. Genuinely isn't an issue at all. Genuinely. Crazy, man. I really don't get this. Really, really, really don't get this. And you know what we could do? We could look at our goal scoring stats from last season as well, where we were in terms of scoring goals up until now. Let's actually do that. Let me pull up 24 match weeks in. 23, 24. Let's go. All right. Match week 24 table. What is this? See if I can pull this up for a different season. I can't. It doesn't let me. Doesn't let me pull anything up. Okay, so I have it right here. Someone pulled it up. Here we go. So this is our, but it doesn't say like how many fucking goals we've scored. Let me see. It doesn't say how many goals we've scored. Trying to just pull up the table from last season when we were in January. I have it. What season is this? This can't be last season. Yeah, this is some old season. But how did they pull this up? Yeah, of course. Of course, bro. I'll rate flawless 100%. 100%. Oh, I'm having a howler here. I can't find it. But anyways, here, maybe this is it. This can't be right either. Yeah, this is not it. Anyways, back to it. But yeah, if you just look at, we have scored 28 goals this season, and we're just, yeah, man, we just don't care. That's really it. 28 goals this season. Palace have scored the same amount as us, and they, by the way, just scored 2 against us this weekend, so they matched our tally. They have a better goal difference than us too. They've actually conceded 20. They've conceded 4 less goals than us, and they've scored the same amount of goals as us. But no, everything is fine. Like, this is the thing that I don't understand. Where's this urgency from our board to try to make things right, bro? Genuinely. But yeah. Anyways, back to this. We were linked with Kolo Muani, Nkunku, Tel, Leon Bailey, I guess. I don't even know that we were linked with Leon Bailey, but I guess we were. Whatever. Questions are, look at some of these quotes. So this is what Melissa Reddy has said from Sky Sports. United were not prepared to be reckless or take expensive risks in a window known to be difficult to do business in. You're telling me $5 million to pay for a loan fee is an expensive fucking risk? Is that what you're telling me? You're telling me paying $5 million for a loan fee for Matheus Tel is an expensive risk? It was a buy option. It's not even an obligation to buy. But yeah, United were not prepared to be reckless or take expensive risks in a window known to be difficult or to do business in. The club will now have more scope to spend in the summer when they feel that there are better opportunities to sign players that fit into their long-term plans. United are understood to be working within very tight financial constraints and PSR limits. The club were unwilling to make signings they felt could sacrifice their long-term approach with expensive short-term deals. Okay, so let me ask you this. Just based off these two comments, you first said United are understood to be working within very tight financial constraints and PSR limits. But then right after that, you said the club is unwilling to make signings they felt could sacrifice their long-term approach with expensive short-term deals. Am I stupid, or does this just tell me that they were willing to spend expensive, they were willing to go expensive in the summer on deals, but then they said we have PSR limits? That makes 0 sense. 0 cents. 0 cents. Hey, big up to Soccer Junkie every single time. Said big up Sheik. Not surprised Indians didn't do much this January. They are shook. They're frauds. They're absolute frauds. I just say it how it is. They are crooks. Frauds. They lie to us. They tell us that they're the best of the best and they're here to bring this club back to where it belongs. Fuck no. Bullshit. Smoke screens and all that. Just trying to make us happy for a good couple of minutes for now, or a good couple of months for now, but they're going to be back on their bullshit and they're in the pocket of the Glazers. This is really it. Look at how their energy is towards certain things like a stadium or certain things like wellness around the club, and then look at how certain things are when it comes to just on-field decisions, trying to better the club on field. Incompetence yet again. Absolute frauds, bro. We've scored 28 goals this season by January, and whatever goal tally that we had last season. And people think that our striking issue is not a problem. Our striking department is not a problem. And we just signed one attacker this summer and this January. That's it. That's all that people think. I did the math, literally. We spent 200 million on midfielders and defenders this season. And we don't think our striking is a problem. You know what's even more stupid? We spent 200 million on defenders and midfielders, yet we've conceded 34 goals this season. 34 goals. We still have a -6 goal difference in January. So we started off the season negative. We are still negative in January. But yeah, going through some of these other quotes because this shit's just pissing me off. United wants to maintain financial discipline as they make widespread changes around the club and continuing to examine options to reduce costs and raise revenues. They believe this will create more money to invest into the team, which means United will just have to muddle on for the rest of the season with fewer attacking options than they had a month ago. How have we gone in this January transfer window and we've come out a worse team? How does that happen? Genuinely, how does that happen? Villa replaced one striker, John Duran. Look who they bought in: Malin, Asensio, Rashford. Look at all these players that they bought in by just replacing one striker. Loan deals. They still have so much of that Duran money to spend in the summer. All they've done is loan deals. And this is a club that is competing for top 4 this season. This is a club that is currently in the Champions League, that is trying to do something in the Champions League. And they move like a club that actually want to make things right and want to make things better. They've got such a big hit with John Duran. Let's be honest. If H, you're in the chat, we could talk about this. They've got such a big hit with John Duran because John Duran was a clinical striker for them. John Duran was someone, even though he was coming off the bench, he was scoring a lot of their goals. He was an impact player for them. So what have they done? They've now just replaced an impact player with 60 million or 70 million, whatever package it is. That's how Saudi Arabia has paid Villa. They've not even used that money to try to replace him with someone like a world beater of a striker, someone that they could have gotten. They could have easily gone in the window and gotten someone like Kvaratskhelia by spending that same amount of money that PSG spent. It's the same amount of money that they sold John Duran to Saudi for. But what did they do? They went ahead in the January transfer window and got loan deals. Loan deals, which means, one, with Rashford, it's a buy option where if it goes right, they can spend that 40 million on him. Or if it doesn't go right, they don't have to do that. And he's going to return to my club. And they can still go in that summer transfer window and spend the cash if they need to. That's what you call a club, exactly like Soccer Junkie said, a club that has ambition. Aston Villa has more ambition than us, and we're supposed to be a new regime, and we've just had our worst ever season in the Champions League, in the Premier League. We are on par to have our worst ever season this year too. But let's just all be giddy about things. Yay, we're going to make a new stadium, people. We're going to make a new stadium. We're going to be the best stadium in England in terms of more seating capacity than Wembley as well. Cool. So they want to make a new stadium, which means new stadium means more seats. More seats means more money for them. More money for them means they're not going to invest into our squad. So are you people still backing Ineos up until now? Because what have Ineos done genuinely to prove to you that they're here to make things better? Because all they have been doing right now is rectifying their own mistakes. Their own mistakes. Manager department fucked it up. Players department fucked it up. What have they done right since they've been here so far, genuinely? And don't tell me that they've signed players like De Ligt and all of these things for the price that they have. Cool. Anybody else who, bro, as simple as this, let me just give you an example. Anybody whose sole ambition is to make money at a business, they will come in, and this is generally just the harsh truth of ownership and businesses these days. Anybody whose sole purpose is to come and make money, first of all, the rich people are rich because they cut corners. The rich people are not rich because they do things morally. They actually don't do things morally most of the time. They cut corners. That's why they end up staying rich. They're greedy. That's why they end up staying rich. They don't like spending their money. That's why they stay wealthy. So with the same thing, they've come in, they've spent money on De Ligt and all these players, and they fooled us and fooled some of our fan base and told you that we had a good window because we didn't get scammed for certain players. Same thing this time too. Just because we backed away from the Tell deal because we didn't get scammed, quote unquote, doesn't mean that they did a good job. Just because we spent 30 million on a left wing back who's 20 years old doesn't mean that they did a good job. You still had a lot more that you could have dealt with. You still could have explored loan deals and you didn't. because you want to cut corners and you want to bring up this foolishness that we are financially strained. We have PSR. Like, just look at this shit. United are understood to be working within tight financial constraints and PSR limits. In the same sentence right after that, they felt they could they felt to make signings could sacrifice their long-term approach with expensive short-term deals. So they wanted to do it. They explored the idea of having these expensive short-term deals, but then all of a sudden it's tight financial constraints and PSR limits. All of a sudden. So don't know what to tell you, man. Don't know what to tell you. Clubs, these guys are frauds. Absolute frauds. And yeah, again, like you said, well, kept our worst attacker. They wanted to fiddle around the money with Garnacho. 40 million is not enough. 50 million is not enough. You man valued him at 60 million, 60 million. Oh man. We're cooked as a club. Genuinely. We are cooked as a club. I just trying to wrap my head around what's going to happen for the rest of the season. Genuinely, people. I genuinely don't know what's going to happen until the rest of the season. Where the fuck are we going to finish? How many goals are we going to score? How many goals did we score last season? Here, let me look at this. Premier League table last season. Oh, this is this season. Fuck. Here we go. Let me pull it up. 1 second, people. So this is a table from last season. Last season, we scored 57 goals. So we are right now at 28 goals. So we are basically 29 goals away from matching our goal tally. We have, how many games have we played so far? Let's see how many games we've played so far. Let me just see how many games we've played so far. We have played 24 games so far, right? 24 games so far. So we have 14 games left. 14 games left. And we are 29 goals away from matching our last year's tally of 57 goals that we scored, which is still abysmal for this United squad, for Manchester United Football Club in general. Abysmal to only score 57 goals. But we are 29 goals away. So let's actually do this as well. Let's pull up the rest of our Premier League fixtures. And let's see, because I'm actually going to break this down. We're genuinely going to break this down. Cool. So we have 14 games left. And we have 30 goals to match, basically. So here we go. Let's do the math together, people. Unlike Flawless, I can actually do math. Unlike Flawless. Shout out to Flawless, though. Okay, so we play Tottenham in the Premier League next away, which can't guarantee a win 100%. Even though with how Tottenham are playing, can't guarantee a win. Let's just say we score. First of all, I don't think we even scored 2 goals in any game until the rest of the season. Tottenham, I could see us scoring maybe 1 at most. Everton, 1 at most. Ipswich, 1 at most. Arsenal, we could lose that game. Don't even see us scoring any, to be honest. Leicester City away, we could score 1. Nottingham Forest, we're not scoring any goals. Man City, we could score 1. Yeah, I'd say we score 1. Newcastle, we ain't gonna score goals there. Let's just be honest. Wolves at home, maybe 1, but we might lose the game. Chelsea away, with how their defense is, and if Robert Sanchez starts, we score 1. West Ham at home, we could score 1. Bournemouth, we're going to lose. Villa at home, we could also lose. So I don't even genuinely seeing us matching our tally from last season, because 14 games is what I talked about from up until here, up until the rest of the season. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Cool. So that's 1 here, 1 here, 2. 3, Arsenal, I don't see us scoring, so that's 3. 4, Forest, I don't see us scoring. 5 against City. Newcastle, I don't see us scoring. 6 against Wolves. Don't see us scoring against Bournemouth. 1 maybe against Brentford, so 7. 8. Chelsea will lose, but I think we'll score 1 goal, so 9. And then Villa, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that we score 1 goal in that game too, and we lose that game still. So that's 10, right? 10 goals. We're at 28. Based off of the calculations that I've just done so far, people, we're only scoring 38 goals this season. That's it. 38 goals this season. And when I said at the start of the season with Ten Hag that we're going to score 45 goals this season, everybody looked at me crazy. Oh, dude, just wait until the season is over because I'm going to bring up that clip everywhere. And Z, all these guys who I've been looking for in the chat, show up that day, fam. Show up that day. Show up. Because you man said 85 goals in that. 85 goals. We ain't even going to hit 40 at this rate. We genuinely are not going to hit 40 at this rate. Let's say we score 2 goals in every single game. That's City at home, Arsenal at home, Tottenham away, Forest away, Bournemouth away. Let's just consider and say we score 2 goals in every single game up until the end of the season. We have 14 games left. 14 times 2 is 28. 28 times 2 is 56. 56 goals. This is just giving the benefit of the doubt that we score 2 goals in every single game up until the end of the season. 56 goals is less than last year. It's less than last year. Less goals than WrestleMania. Bro, facts. If we score 38, we're less goals than WrestleMania, you know. But no, let's just continue to buy midfielders, defenders. Let's make a new stadium. Let's do all of that. No, yo, say how it really is because I'm sick and tired of been waiting for this moment. And I honestly was gonna say the same stuff on if Flawless had done that show in this morning. I was gonna say the same stuff then. Terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. Don't know what to say, genuinely. But yeah. We're going to finish off with less than 40 goals this season, people. Clip me. Clip me. We're going to finish this season off in less than 40 goals. Less than 40 goals. You doing it right now? Yeah, I'm literally going to go there right now. But yeah, have faith in Ruben Ball. We're scoring 80 goals. Hey, that's what they told me, man. That's what they told me. You know the craziest thing is, Joel? They said that with Ten Hag. They didn't even say that with Ruben. They said that with Ten Hag that we're going to score 80 goals. Don't even remember the numbers, but someone said Garnacho about to get like double digits. Rashford about to get double digits. Rashford's gone, man. He's gone. But yeah, let this fan base always tell you that we're good enough and Ruben is the issue and all of those type of things right now. Yeah, man, I don't know what to say anymore, genuinely. It's almost like, it's almost like this. It's like the situation that we're in, someone is just coming to your house, an intruder. He's taken everything from your house. Like he's taken away all the jewelry. He's taken away he took away your PS4. Joel, he took away your PS5. Joel, you're a Miami Heat fan. He took away your LeBron jersey. He took away all those things, right? And what we are doing is we're just sitting there and we're letting all that shit happen. You could come into our house, you can fuck everything up, you can mess it all around, you can mess up the shape of the house and all the furniture and all of that. And we're just sitting there and we're like, you know what? We're just gonna end up making a new house. That's just what we're gonna do. Let's just make a new house. That's literally what this regime is doing. You guys can come into our house, you can take away all our prized possessions, all of that shit, and we're just not gonna do anything about it. They're, bro, spineless, cowards, just idiots in general. Idiots. Genuinely, just I can't say some words here because I'll get canceled myself. I'll get demonetized. But they're just awful. Lack of brain cells. Our fans, man. Genuinely. But yeah. I'm gonna go rant on Flawless to stream real quick because I got like 45 minutes. Yeah, I got like 45 minutes. Like Spurs taking Fox, bro. That's what I'm saying. Kings fan base are another one of them. Fuck's sake. Fuck's sake, man. But yeah, we're gonna close out. I've done enough. I've talked enough. I'm literally at head loss, and you guys are gonna go see me there have absolute head loss because yeah, I'm just gonna keep it real, man. That's genuinely just what it is. But we're gonna close out a little bit under an hour. I know said we were gonna do an hour. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to Age. Shout out to Joel. Shout out to Soccer Junkie every single time. Shout out to Leicester City fan. I think it's my first time seeing you here as well, bro. So big up to you. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, shout out to Rodri. Rodri is goated. Yeah, we're gonna rate him 100%. Let me do that real quick. Let me set it up. Let me set it up. 1 second, people. But yeah, wanted to just get some things off my chest because I'm sick and tired of this shit, bro. And we're gonna go over to Flawless's channel, Sarkham City. We're gonna go continue this chatter there. That is what we're gonna do. 1 second. Did we just get rated? I think we did. Yo, shout out to Sophia. I think we just did get rated. Sophia's Football Talk. Appreciate you for rating the stream. Thank you so much. But yeah, let me rate. 1 second. Turns TV off. Turns TV off. Turns TV off. Turns TV off. But yeah, big up to everyone. Thank you guys for all tuning in. Shout out to Sophia for the raid every single time. We're gonna go over to Flawless's channel, which we are rating. Just write Sheik raid, Sheik TV raid. Just write that in the chat. And yeah, in terms of what we have coming up next Friday, we'll be back with Stretford Chronicles episode number 5. We'll continue to talk about every single thing Manchester United related. We also have the game on Friday, which we are playing against Leicester City in the FA Cup at home. So we'll have the watch along. I'll be there for that, match reaction, all of the normal stuff. So yeah, big up to everyone for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening to me just rant about all this type of stuff when it comes to our transfer window and all of that. And I will be on Flawless' channel in literally a couple of minutes, and we will, we will get to things there. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, big up. We'll catch you there. Love every single time, and we'll see you all in the next one, people. Big up. Love.